Okay, so now let's move to the MATLAB and see how these functions could be realized and could be implemented in MATLAB. Okay, so let's bring out a new script file and let's save it first instead of saving it later on. Okay, so I'm going to save it on desktop and I'm going to give it a name. You can give any name, but I'm going to give it a name Fourier. And I'm going to change the folder in the very start as well, so that I don't find that notice or pop-up. Okay, G. So let's say if I start writing with an input signal x of t. Let's say I have any input signal that t raised to the power 2, you can say. So if I'm going to run it, and the error simply says that t is an undefined variable. Whereas if I symbolize the variable t using the sims command, as we have already been using before, it's simply going to make it a symbolized function that t is a symbol and could be given any value later on. So this way it's not going to give me any error. Now let's define our time period. Let's say the time period is 2, and instead of taking the signal t square, let's take this signal let's make this signal using simply the Heaviside command. So basically it's Heaviside of t. If u of t minus u of t minus 1, it will simply give me a signal that is a square wave. Okay, so now the very first thing after defining the basics is to compute the sorry is to compute the coefficients basically. And in order to compute the coefficients, we know we want to compute a naught. As you can see here, we have to compute a naught, an, and bn. Okay, so for computing the a naught, what we need to do is we have to divide a by 1 by t, and we have to multiply it with an integral. As we are using the sims command, so we can integrate x of t with respect to t from 0 to t, capital T, using the built-in command. Okay, so we don't need to get into any other details, and we can compute the coefficients like this. In order to compute ak, what we need to do is we need to write the following functions ak for ak and bk. Okay, so in order to compute ak, what we need to do is 2 divided by t, and we have to multiply it with with an integral of x of t multiplied with cos of omega naught t. Okay, so we have not yet defined omega naught, so we can define omega naught as 2 into pi divided by t, because we have t here, so it's 2 pi f. Okay, omega naught into t, we have got that, and then we are going to integrate it with respect to t from 0 to capital T. And similarly for the case of bk, we we are going to use the same equation, but the only difference will be instead of cos we will have sine. So if I'm going to run it, what it's going to do, it's going to give me a naught, ak, and bk. Okay, so we have got all these values, but if you can see here, all these values are symbolized. Okay, we have to change them into some integer values by applying some conversion operations. I'll let you know about that as well in a while. Okay, so because we have to compute these ak's and bk's for multiple values of k's, so what we can do is, instead of computing it once, we can what we can do is we can put them inside a for loop. Okay, so let's say I have a for loop for that runs from whatever the variable you would like to take. I'm taking k from 1 to, let's say, 5, and inside this for loop I'm going to compute my ak and bk for each value of k. Okay, also along with this cos and sine I have to multiply the k. So now what we are going to get is, we are going to get ak and bk for every value of k. So let's run it once again and see the results. I have only displayed them once, after it will finish computing. Okay, so here you can see that we have a naught 1 over 2, we have ak's all 0, and we have bk's at alternate values, at all the odd values you can see. So the signal that we are going to make is an odd signal. You can say for sure that that it could be realized with the coefficients of sine instead of with the cos. So that is why the cos values, or you can say the ak coefficients, are all zeros and bk coefficients are there. Now the next step is, if we have computed these values, what we can do is, we can instead of running it till 5, let's run it till some arbitrary number n. Let's say 5 or 10, whatever you would like to write. It depends on how many terms that you need. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is to symbolize them. Okay, so ak, we are going to symbolize this value. Sorry, we are going to apply this formation. We are going to convert them into double. Okay, so this way we can see the point decimal values as well easily. Okay, so we have now symbolized ak and bk. Also we are going to do the same with a naught. Okay, so a naught will be equal to, we are going to convert it to to the double format, and let's run it again. So this time we are going to get the same values but in points. Okay, so before you were getting the values as 2 into 2 divided by 3 pi, 2 over pi, 2 over 5 pi, but this time the values are the same, but now the values are in points. Okay, the next thing that we have to do is now is to find out this whole x of t expression. And in order to find that out, what we have to do is we have to define the t. So let's define t from 0 to 5. You can define it for any particular value. Okay, so let's name it t term. Okay, because t is the symbolic variable that we are already using. So for the harmonic terms we can use t term as a variable. And in because we have the terms because we have the terms as a summation, so we will need an for loop to run through in order to compute these values as well. And let's run the for loop from by taking an indexing through small n from 1 to capital N. And now what we are going to do inside the for loop is we are going to compute the harmonic terms. Okay, so the harmonic terms will be computed as ak at n multiplied by cos of n omega naught into t term. It's a t term, yes, right? Okay, so it's ak cos k omega naught t plus bk sine of k omega naught t. So ak cos of k omega, so an cos of cos of n omega naught t, and plus the same term with, sorry, it's bk at each value of n, and sine omega naught t. Okay. And what next we have to do is, in order to compute the complete x, uh, first we need to have x equals to a naught. We are going to put it equal to a naught, because we have a naught, and then this whole term will be added, and this whole term will be computed using the for loop. Okay, so x equals to a naught, and for after each computation of the next harmonic term, we are going to add it into the original x. So what we are going to do is x plus harmonic term. Okay, so this is how we are going to compute the complete x. Let's not display them here. Once again, I would say the same, and we will display it later at the end. Or what you can do is you can simply plot inside and you can see the result. So for each t term you can plot the signal x and you can see the results evolving. Okay, so let's run it and see what happens. Okay, we have got the error. Harmonic term is undefined. Okay, so it's harmonic terms, not term. Okay, so let's run it now, and this is how you can see the result. Okay, so here you can see that each term is being computed, because we chose the step size to be 0.01, so we will have around 500 terms in between. Okay, it's 501 because it's starting from 0. Okay, and this is the result. You can see that this is how it's going to add the terms. Okay, this is the result when we have added 10 harmonic terms. If I make this k equal to 100, so what you can see now is basically it's a bit busy while computing, and once it will compute, then let's see how the results get even better approximation near the original sinusoidal, sorry, near the original square wave. So it's going to take a bit longer because we have given it so many points to compute on. I think we have given a lot of points, so it's taking more than required time. So okay, so here you can see when we have computed for n equals to 100, it's giving us a more generalized realization of the function that we are about to compute. So you can imagine from here that if we keep on adding the points and keep evolving the function, let's say we add in 1,000 points, 10,000 points. So what's going to happen is we are going to get even further straight lines, and we can approximate the signal, original input signal, with the Fourier coefficients. Now what you can do is you can simply do is you can compute the terms in one function, and you can compute the coefficients in another